11, Auxiliary of the La Salle and East Asia District. My dear friend and Reverend Brother Anthony Rogers from the La Salle Brothers Malaysia, all the Reverend Fathers, Brothers, Sisters, all the wonderful pupils of St. Xavier, Tan Sri, Puan Sri, Dato Sri, Datin Sri, Dato, Datin, and fellow Lazalians, a very good evening to everyone. I would just like to thank Brother Anthony Rogers for extending me this invitation, which I'm deeply honored. Not just because of the occasion, but because it gives me the opportunity to meet up an old friend, a dear friend. You know, our friends are dearest in our times of need and suffering. And we suffered together for 15 months in Kamunting. Kamunting detention camp lah. But I like to say this, as fellow Lazalians, we did not let you down. Even though I spent only 3 years in La Salle, PJ Jalan Gasing, but I can say that 3 years give me a little bit of inkling what is it to be a Lazalian. So I'm not qualified to be here to share with you your glorious history, and neither the heritage that you possess, nor to explain in detail the exceptional brothers and teachers who guided the young and the great people that the Lasallian family has produced in Malaysia. Because I think you know them all. You know who they are. They have become not only chief ministers, not only ministers, but also noted and distinguished lawyers, parliamentarians, and professionals. I do not need to list out these famous names. You know who they are. But I think most of all, we are here today, we come here today to pay tribute to the school that produced so many noted and distinguished personalities. Without St. Xavier's, I'm sure you will not be what you are today. Let us give our heartfelt applause to St. Xavier. The Chinese has a proverb that it takes 10 years to grow a tree, but 100 years to educate a man or a woman. 10年树木，100年树人. It takes 10 years to grow a tree, but 100 years to educate a man or a woman. You have been here for 160 glorious years. Congratulations, everyone. No one would dispute that St. Xavier's is an integral part of our heritage, of Penang's heritage and legacy that Penang will forever cherish. Thank you once again. La Sallian education system was born in 1852 in Penang to cater the needs of the young for 3 R's, basic 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic. Develop persons or a young child personality and as well as his intellectual being, help him to gain social mobility and to improve his or her income status. More importantly, La Sallian education was critical in character formation to know right from wrong based on God-given norms. Academic excellence has to go side by side with ethical expressions. excelling in learning is meaningless without being accompanied by a resilient character and good values. It was this fundamental perspective that convinced the brothers that all and everyone had the right to education, especially the poor, regardless of race and religion. Indeed, I think La Sallian education was the first to say it is not important the color of your skin, it is more important the content of your character. Our education to be relevant has to be holistic, including intellectual, spiritual, physical and emotional development. The history of La Sallian School shows clearly that it is not what was taught that is important, it is what is learned by the students that is more important. And the ability, the legend of St. Xavier is the legend of being able to not only teach the right things but allow the students to absorb all of it. And that's why you're all so good students. I'm sure in these hallowed halls you learn fortitude, you learn integrity, you learn freedom and the abiding faith in social justice. And most important of all, there was no attempt to impose the values or religious norms on the students. I'm sure you can be by witness to say that there were no efforts to Christianize the students of St. Xavier. Correct or not? Let the word go forth. Let the word go forth that there were no efforts to Christianize non-Christians all these years. And I'm sure the governors, the ministers, including ministers like Daim Zainuddin and Tan Sri Noor Muhammad Yaakob, can bear testimony to the fact that there were no efforts to Christianize them when they were students in St. Xavier. So if in the past mission schools like St. Xavier focused on education, did not attempt to Christianize its students, why should this issue be brought up now? There are now efforts to Christianize students, especially Muslim students. This is all rubbish. And that's why we feel that all this talk of Christianizing students, especially Muslim students, is dangerous talk. This fear mongering has to stop, and to go to the extent of talking about threats of Christianization, I think will only tear the country apart. And that's why we hope that the education department, especially the Johor education department, will cease to create hatred amongst Muslims towards Christians by taking extremist positions of threats of Christianization. St. Xavier is the best witness that there were no attempts to Christianize any student. What they wanted to do was to humanize, to give good education, to ensure that any student from St. Xavier can not only be a good person, to be a good father or mother, but more important, a good citizen of Malaysia. And efforts by St. Xavier is not limited to producing excellent students such as yourself today. In fact, Brother Anthony Rogers and his brethren has taken up the challenge to promote holistic education. And some of them, I think you know, include special baking classes and motor mechanics that have been introduced by St. Xavier for those who are not academically inclined. Many have spoken also about our St. Xavier's Vocation Center that will teach the young music, arts, drama, and even information technology. Yes, it is a good dream to dream for the young today, as many of them have come to believe that life before and after SPM is a nightmare. But in St. Xavier, I'm sure they'll make it easier for everyone. I would like to end by quoting one of my favorite from St. Francis of Assisi, where he said, and I'm sure these words will make your year-long celebration meaningful because it will bring you hope, as what St. Francis said. Where there is hatred, may we bring love. Where there is discord, may we bring harmony. Where there is injury, may we pardon. Where there is error, may we bring truth. Where there is doubt, may we bring faith. Where there is sadness, may we bring joy. And where there is despair, may we bring hope. Saint Xavier has brought hope to all the students who have walked through these hallowed halls. And I'm sure Penang is better because of Saint Xavier's. Let me once again thank the Lasallian brothers for giving all of us one of the greatest gifts of love. And what is the greatest gift of love? That is the love of a good education to get on with life. George Orwell wrote in his famous novel 1984, where he said, those who control the present control the past. Those who control the past control the future. In Penang, we do not seek to control anyone. We seek to connect with the past so that we can connect with the future to face the challenges of the future together. My friends, let us work together for Penang, for a brighter future, and to give or to uphold all the values and good teachings that St. Xavier's and Lasallian brothers have strenuously and with most difficulty taught us every single day of our primary and secondary years. With these words, I once again give a heartfelt thanks to all the Lasallian brothers. May God bless them, good health and long life. And may St. Xavier celebrate another 160 years. Thank you very much. God bless everyone.
Tuan Lim